I found the notebook wedged between the mattress and box spring on her side of the bed, not mine, hers, while looking for the TV remote. The leather was soft, burgundy, expensive. The kind of journal Emily bought at that boutique stationery shop downtown. The one where a blank book costs $40 because it has artisan paper, or whatever justification they use. My wife had beautiful handwriting, looping, elegant cursive that made grocery lists look like poetry. I'd always loved that about her. Loved watching her hand move across paper during the early years when she'd write me notes and slip them into my lunch bag. This wasn't a love note. April 3rd. Met him again at the Riverside Hotel. 2 hours this time. Patrick thinks I'm at yoga. I should feel guilty, but I don't. Tyler makes me feel alive in ways I'd forgotten existed. We talked about leaving our spouses. He says his marriage has been dead for years. Mine isn't dead. It's just empty. The remote fell from my other hand and hit the hardwood floor with a crack that probably broke something inside it. I didn't care. My eyes were locked on that date. April 3rd. That was a Thursday. 5 weeks ago. I remembered that Thursday because I'd left work early to surprise her with takeout from her favorite Thai place, but she wasn't home yet. She'd walked in at 7:30, yoga mat over her shoulder, face flushed, and kissed my cheek before heading straight to the shower. "Great class tonight," she'd said. "Really worked up a sweat." My hands were shaking. The notebook had maybe 30 pages of entries. I flipped backward, watching the dates scroll into the past. March 27th. Tyler's hands are incredible. The way he touches me, like he's memorizing every inch. Patrick hasn't touched me like that in years. Sometimes I wonder if he even sees me anymore, or just the idea of me, the wife, the mother, the woman who keeps his house running. March 15th. We almost got caught today. His wife called while we were together. I watched him lie to her so smoothly, so easily. It should have bothered me, but instead I felt this rush of excitement. Is that sick? Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I don't care. The earliest entry was dated January 9th. 4 months. This had been going on for 4 months. January 9th. His name is Tyler Bennett. We met at the fundraiser gala for Children's Hospital. He's a surgeon there, orthopedic. Tall, salt and pepper hair, green eyes that actually see me when he looks at me. We talked for an hour about everything and nothing. He made me laugh. When was the last time Patrick made me laugh? I gave him my number. I shouldn't have, but I did. I sat down hard on the edge of our bed. Our bed, where we'd slept together for 11 years, where we'd conceived our daughter Madison, where I'd held Emily through her mother's death 3 years ago. The mattress dipped under my weight, and I thought about how many times it had dipped under the weight of 2 people who weren't me and my wife. No. Wait. She wouldn't. Not here. Not in our home. I flipped through more pages, scanning desperately. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Patrick got me roses and made reservations at that steakhouse we went to on our first anniversary. He tried so hard and I felt nothing. Just went through the motions. Smiled, said the right things. Let him make love to me that night because it was expected. The whole time I was thinking about Tyler. I'm a terrible person. February 20th. Tyler asked me to meet him at his condo. His wife was visiting her sister in Phoenix. I told Patrick I was going to a book club meeting. I've never been to a book club in my life. His place is downtown, 20th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river. We spent 4 hours there. I didn't get home until midnight. Patrick was asleep on the couch waiting up for me. I told him we'd gone out for drinks after. He believed me. He always believes me. The condo. At least she'd had enough. What? Decency? Fear? She hadn't brought him here. Small mercies. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Emily. Running late. Can you pick up Maddie from dance? Should be home by 6:30. Love you. Love you. I stared at those two words until they stopped looking like language and became just shapes on a screen. My daughter. Madison was 7 years old, gap-toothed, obsessed with horses and Taylor Swift. She was at dance class right now, probably practicing her pirouettes, completely unaware that her father was sitting in her parents' bedroom reading documentation of her mother's affair. I checked my watch. 4:15. Dance ended at 5. I had 45 minutes before I needed to leave. I kept reading. March 8th. He said he loves me today. We were lying in bed at the hotel and he just said it. I love you, Emily. I started crying. I couldn't help it. I said it back. I meant it. God help me. I meant it. March 22nd. Tyler wants me to tell Patrick. He says we should both come clean, file for divorce, do this the right way. He doesn't understand. Patrick would be destroyed. And Maddie. How do I tell my daughter that mommy met someone else? That mommy chose someone else? Tyler doesn't have kids. His wife can't have children. He doesn't understand what's at stake. April 10th. Patrick asked me this morning if everything was okay. Said I seemed distant lately. I almost told him everything. Almost. But then Maddie came downstairs asking for help with her homework, and the moment passed. I'm living two lives. In one, I'm Patrick's wife, Maddie's mother, the woman who volunteers at the school bake sale and remembers to buy toilet paper. In the other, I'm Tyler's lover, someone passionate and desired and alive. I don't know which one is real anymore. April 17th. Last night, Patrick tried to initiate sex. I couldn't do it. Made an excuse about being tired, having a headache. The oldest cliché in the book. He looked hurt, but didn't push. This morning, he left for work without kissing me goodbye. First time in 11 years. That was last week. Last Tuesday. I remembered that morning. I'd been running late for a meeting with a potential client. I ran a small construction company specializing in custom homes, and I'd rushed out without our usual routine. I hadn't thought anything of it. I read the last entry again. Then again. The words don't change. My phone says 4:47 p.m. Emily will be home at 6:30. Madison's dance class ends at 5:15. I should move. I should do something. But I'm still sitting on our bed with this burgundy notebook in my lap, and my hands won't stop shaking. The rational part of my brain, the part that estimates materials and manages subcontractors and solves problems for a living, starts making lists, evidence, documentation, next steps. But underneath that, there's just this vast, howling emptiness where my marriage used to be. I take photos. Every page, methodical, clinical. My phone camera clicks through January, February, March, April. Through hotel rooms and confessions and lies. Through I love you and I can't do this anymore. And he was waiting up for me on the couch. When I'm done, I have 47 photos, 4 months of betrayal, backed up to the cloud. I put the journal back exactly where I found it, wedged between mattress and box spring on Emily's side. My hands remember the angle, the depth. I'm good with spatial details. It's how I've built a business. The house is too quiet. I walk downstairs because staying in that bedroom feels impossible. In the kitchen, there's a grocery list on the counter in Emily's handwriting. Milk, bread, coffee, Maddie's favorite cereal. The same beautiful cursive that filled that journal with descriptions of another man's hands. My phone buzzes. Emily. Running even later, 6:45. So sorry. Can you grab M? I stare at the message. She ends it with a heart emoji. I text back, got her. No problem. Because what else do I say? I know what you've been doing for 4 months. I found your journal. I know Tyler Bennett has a 20th floor condo with a river view. Not yet. Not like this. I grab my keys and wallet. Madison will be waiting. The dance studio smells like sweat and hairspray and the industrial air freshener they use in the bathrooms. Through the observation window, I can see Madison in her pink leotard, gap-toothed smile bright as she practices pirouettes with 3 other 7-year-olds. She hasn't seen me yet. I watch her spin, arms out, concentration fierce on her face. She looks like Emily. Same dark hair, same determined chin. The thought hits like a fist. What happens to her when this all falls apart? Mr. Hayes? I turn. It's Miss Jennifer, the dance instructor, holding a clipboard. You're early today. Yeah, Emily's running late. No problem, they're just finishing up. She glances at the studio. Madison's really improved with her turns. She's been working so hard. I nod because I don't trust my voice. The class ends. Madison spots me and runs over, dance bag bouncing against her hip. Daddy, did you see my pirouettes? I did. They looked great, sweetheart. Miss Jennifer says I might be ready for the recital solo. She's vibrating with excitement. Can we get ice cream, please? Mom said maybe today. Not today, Mad. Maybe this weekend. Her face falls, but she recovers fast. 7-year-olds are resilient like that. Okay, can we listen to Taylor Swift in the car? Sure thing. We walk to the parking lot together, her small hand in mine. She chatters about dance and her friend Olivia, and something that happened at recess. I make the right sounds, ask the right questions, but I'm somewhere else entirely. In the car, Taylor Swift plays from my phone. Madison sings along, slightly off-key, making up words she doesn't know. I drive on autopilot, following the familiar route home. Our street looks exactly the same as it did this morning. The Johnsons' yard with the new landscaping, the Patels' minivan in their driveway. Our house, white with blue shutters, the maple tree in front that we planted when Madison was 2. Everything looks normal, like the world hasn't just shifted on its axis. Emily's car isn't in the garage yet. 6:15 p.m. Is Mom home? Madison asks, unbuckling her seatbelt. Not yet. She's running late from work. Work. Right. That's what we're calling it. Inside, Madison drops her dance bag by the stairs and heads for the kitchen. I'm starving. Can I have a snack? Apple or crackers? Can I have crackers and peanut butter? Sure. I get her settled at the kitchen table with her snack and a glass of milk. She swings her legs while she eats, telling me about the recital solo, how it's going to be to a song from the Nutcracker, how she needs a special costume. I'm half listening, half watching the clock. 6:28 p.m. My phone buzzes. Emily. Pulling in now. Sorry. Madison hears the garage door. Mom's home! She scrambles down from her chair and runs to the mudroom. I hear Emily's voice, bright and cheerful. There's my girl. How was dance? I might get the solo, Mom. Miss Jennifer said I'm really improving. That's wonderful, baby. They come into the kitchen together. Madison still talking a mile a minute. Emily's wearing dark jeans and a cream sweater, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looks exactly like she always does. Beautiful, familiar. My wife of 11 years. She meets my eyes over Madison's head and smiles. Hey, babe. Thanks for getting her. No problem. I'm so sorry I was late. The meeting ran over and then traffic was a nightmare. The meeting. I wonder if that's what she calls it in her head. The meeting with Tyler Bennett. Maybe at his condo. Maybe at the Riverside Hotel. Maybe somewhere new. It's fine, I say. We managed. Madison is still talking about the recital, about the costume she needs, about how Olivia might get a solo too, but she's not sure. Emily listens with perfect maternal attention, asking questions, making encouraging sounds. I watch her perform. Because that's what this is. A performance. The loving mother. The devoted wife. The woman who was just running late from a meeting. Patrick, you okay? I realize I've been staring. Yeah, just tired. Long day. Why don't you relax? I'll handle dinner. She moves to the refrigerator. I was thinking pasta. That work for everyone? Yay! Can we have the kind with the twirly noodles? Madison asks. Absolutely. It's so normal. So perfectly, terribly normal. Emily pulls out ingredients. Madison sets the table without being asked. I sit at the kitchen counter with a beer I don't really want, watching my family go through the motions of an ordinary Wednesday evening. Emily hums while she cooks. Something classical. She does that sometimes, hums pieces she doesn't even realize she knows. Her hands move with practiced efficiency, chopping garlic, heating olive oil, stirring sauce. Those hands. Tyler wrote about them in texts she quoted, how they felt on his skin. Daddy, you're not listening, Madison says. Sorry, what? I asked if you can come to the recital. It's on May 15th. Miss Jennifer gave us the date today. May 15th. 3 weeks away. I have no idea what our lives will look like in 3 weeks. I'll be there, I say, because what else can I say? Emily glances over from the stove. I'll put it on the calendar. We can both take off work. Work. There's that word again. Dinner is ready at 7:15. We sit at our kitchen table, the one I built from reclaimed oak 3 years ago, and eat pasta with marinara sauce. Madison tells Emily everything she already told me about dance class. Emily asks about homework. Madison groans but admits she has a math worksheet. After dinner, Emily says, then you can have 30 minutes of screen time before bed. Can I watch that horse show? If you finish your homework first. It's choreographed. We've done this dance 1,000 times. The family dinner, the homework negotiation, the bedtime routine. We're good at this. We've had 11 years of practice. I eat my pasta and drink my beer and watch my wife smile at our daughter. And I think about the journal upstairs. About Tyler Bennett and hotel rooms and lies. About how Emily wrote that she can't do this anymore, but she's still doing it. Still coming home. Still playing house. Still wearing her wedding ring. I notice it catch the light as she reaches for the Parmesan cheese. White gold with 3 small diamonds. I proposed on a beach in Oregon 11 years ago. She cried when she said yes. Patrick? I asked if you want more. Emily holds up the pasta bowl. No, I'm good. After dinner, Madison does her homework at the table while Emily loads the dishwasher. I should help. Normally, I would help. But I can't seem to move from my chair. Emily doesn't notice. Or maybe she does, but she's good at pretending. She wipes down counters, puts away leftovers, starts the dishwasher. Domestic choreography. At 8, she tells Madison it's time for her show. They settle on the couch together, Madison curled against Emily's side. I stay in the kitchen, listening to the theme song of some program about horses and teenage girls. My phone is heavy in my pocket. 47 photos, 4 months of evidence. I should confront her. Tonight. Now. Get it over with. But Madison is in the next room watching TV with her mother, and I can't do that to her. Not tonight. Not like this. So I wait. I wait until Thursday afternoon. 3 days of walking through our house like a ghost, kissing Emily goodbye in the mornings, asking Maddie about her spelling tests, grilling chicken for dinner. 3 days of Emily touching my shoulder as she passes, saying, "Love you" before bed, checking her phone and smiling at something I'm not supposed to see. On Thursday morning, I tell her I have a site inspection in Columbus. 4-hour drive, won't be back until late. She nods, distracted, already typing something on her phone. Okay, babe, drive safe. I kiss her cheek. Her skin smells like the lavender lotion she's used for years. Instead of driving to Columbus, I drive to a strip mall 20 minutes from our house and park outside a tax preparation office. I sit there for 2 hours watching people come and go until I'm sure Emily thinks I'm halfway across the state. Then I drive to Riverside Hotel. The parking lot is nicer than I expected. Landscaped islands with ornamental grasses, fresh asphalt. The kind of place that charges enough to be discreet, but not so much that it attracts attention. I park 3 rows back from the entrance and wait. My phone says it's 1:47 p.m. Emily's last text to Tyler, I've been checking her messages every night after she falls asleep. Her passcode is Maddie's birthday, said, "To fashion at the usual place." At 1:53, a silver Audi pulls into the lot. I recognize it from the hospital parking garage photo on Tyler Bennett's LinkedIn profile. He's wearing dark jeans and a gray Henley, casual for a surgeon on a Thursday afternoon. He must have blocked off his schedule, called in a favor, traded shifts, told some lie that came easily after 4 months of practice. He walks into the hotel like he owns it, confident, hands in pockets. At 1:58, Emily's white Honda CR-V turns into the lot. I watch her park 4 spaces away from Tyler's car. She checks her reflection in the rearview mirror, applies lipstick, the coral shade she wore on our first date 12 years ago, and gets out. She's wearing the blue dress I complimented last week. "You look beautiful," I'd said, and she'd smiled and kissed me and said, "You're sweet." She was wearing it for him. She walks into the hotel at exactly 2 p.m. I sit in my truck for another 3 minutes, giving them time to get to whatever room they've reserved. Room 237, according to the confirmation email I found in Emily's deleted folder. Then I get out and walk across the parking lot. The lobby is generic hotel elegant. Beige carpet, fake plants, the smell of industrial air freshener trying to mask years of other people's secrets. A young woman behind the desk looks up and smiles. "Can I help you?" "I'm here to see my wife," I say. Room 237. The smile falters. She's maybe 23, probably works here part-time while finishing college, and now she's trying to calculate whether this is about to become her problem. "Sir, I can't give out guest information." I pull out my phone and show her Emily's driver's license photo, which I'd screenshotted from the DMR website this morning. Emily Hayes. She checked in about 5 minutes ago. I'm her husband, Patrick Hayes. I show her my own license. She looks between the phone and my face, and I can see her doing the math. Hotel policy versus the man standing in front of her who clearly isn't leaving. "Sir, maybe you should call her." She's not answering her phone. True, technically, I haven't called. "It's a family emergency. Our daughter—" I let my voice crack, just slightly. I'm not proud of it, but I need to get to that room. She hesitates, then picks up the desk phone. "Let me call the room and let them know you're here." No. The word comes out harder than I intended. Please, I just need to talk to her. 2 minutes. She sets down the phone, looks at me for a long moment. Second floor, she finally says. Turn left off the elevator. I take the stairs. The hallway is quiet except for the hum of an ice machine and a muffled TV from one of the rooms. Beige walls, brass room numbers, industrial carpet that swallows the sound of my footsteps. Room 237 is at the end of the hall. I stand outside the door for maybe 30 seconds. My heart is doing something strange in my chest, beating too hard and too slow at the same time. I can hear voices inside, low and indistinct. Then Emily laughs. A sound I know better than my own breathing. The laugh she makes when she's genuinely happy. I knock. The voices stop. Footsteps. The security latch rattles. Tyler Bennett opens the door wearing only his jeans. His chest is bare, still athletic for a man in his 40s. Salt and pepper hair slightly mussed. He looks at me with confusion that shifts rapidly into understanding, then something that might be fear. Can I help you? I'm Patrick Hayes. I keep my voice level. Emily's husband. Behind him, I can see Emily sitting on the edge of the bed, pulling her dress down, her face gone completely white. The room is generic. Floral bedspread, landscape painting, TV on mute showing the news. The bed is unmade. Patrick, Emily stands up, her hands shaking. What are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. I look at Tyler. But I think I know the answer. Tyler steps back, reaching for his shirt in the chair. Look, man, I think you should talk to your wife. I've read her journal, I say. All 47 pages. I know exactly what you two have been doing. How long you've been doing it. Where you've been doing it. Your downtown condo. This hotel. That weekend in February when Emily told me she was at a conference in Chicago. Emily makes a small sound, something between a gasp and a sob. I know you want her to leave me, I continue, looking at Tyler. I know you told her you love her. I know you've been planning a future together. Tyler's jaw tightens. He pulls his shirt on. Emily, do you want me to stay? She's crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. Patrick, please. Answer his question, I say. Do you want him to stay? Do you want to tell me together how you've been destroying our family? This isn't... She wipes her face with shaking hands. This isn't how I wanted you to find out. How did you want me to find out? The question surprises me with its calmness. Were you planning to tell me at all? Or were you just going to keep writing in your journal about how alive he makes you feel while you kiss me goodbye every morning? Tyler moves toward the door. I'm going to give you two some privacy. No. I turn to face him fully. You're part of this. You don't get to leave. He stops, uncertain. Did you know she has a daughter? I ask. Madison. She's 7. Gap-toothed, loves horses, takes dance class every Tuesday and Thursday. Emily's been missing those classes lately. Showing up late, distracted. I thought she was stressed about work. Patrick, don't... Emily's voice breaks. Did you tell him about the night Maddie was born? I look at Emily now. How you held my hand so hard you left bruises. How we cried together when we heard her first cry. Did you tell him about the morning she took her first steps? Right there in our kitchen, and we both dropped everything to watch. Stop it. Emily is sobbing now, sitting back down on the bed. Did you tell him, I continue, that every night when you came home from seeing him, you tucked her into bed and read her stories and kissed her forehead? That you told her you loved her, using the same mouth that... That's enough. Tyler's voice is sharp. You've made your point. I turn to him. Have I? Because I don't think you understand what you've done. What you've both done. We didn't mean to hurt anyone, Emily whispers. But you did. I pull out my phone, open the photos. I have copies of everything. Every journal entry, every text message, every deleted email. I look at Tyler. Including the ones about how your wife can't have children. How convenient for you that Emily already has one. His face goes rigid. Does your wife know? I ask. Does she know you've been spending your Thursday afternoons here instead of at the hospital? Don't, Tyler says quietly. Don't do that. Why not? The anger is finally breaking through now, hot and sharp. You didn't think about my daughter when you were doing this. Why should I think about your wife? Emily stands up. Patrick, please. Can we go home? Can we talk about this at home? So Maddie can see you like this? I gesture at her smudged makeup, her wrinkled dress. So she can ask why mommy's crying? She flinches. I take a breath, trying to find the control I had when I walked in here. I want you to pack a bag. Stay somewhere else tonight. A hotel, a friend's, I don't care, just not our house. Patrick, tomorrow we'll figure out what to tell Maddie. But tonight, I need you gone. She stares at me, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. I know. And the terrible thing is, I believe her. But that doesn't change anything. I turn and walk out of the room, leaving them both standing there in the wreckage of what they've built. The drive home takes 43 minutes. Emily follows in her car. I can see her headlights in my rearview mirror the whole way, a constant presence like she's been for 11 years. Different now. Everything's different now. I pull into our driveway at 3:47 p.m. She parks on the street. Madison gets home from dance at 5:15. That gives us 90 minutes to dismantle a life. Emily stands on the front porch, not moving toward the door. She's still wearing that cream blouse, the one she chose this morning while I made Maddie's lunch. I'd kissed her goodbye at 7:30, told her I loved her. She'd smiled and said it back. Your key still works, I say. She flinches, opens the door. Inside our house looks exactly the same. Maddie's backpack on the bench by the stairs. Emily's coffee mug in the sink from this morning. The living room still smells like the vanilla candle she lit last night while we watched that cooking show together. I'd had my arm around her. She'd laughed at something the host said. 4 hours ago. A lifetime ago. I'll pack, Emily says. Her voice sounds hollow. Wait. She stops at the bottom of the stairs. I pull out my phone, open the photos. 47 pages of her handwriting. I need to know something first. Patrick, does he know about your work? About the disability claims? She goes very still. What? Tyler, does he know what you actually do at Community Resource Partners? Emily runs the nonprofit's disability advocacy program. Has for 6 years. Helps people navigate the Social Security system, fills out applications, connects them with doctors who will document their conditions. Good work. Important work. She's proud of it. Or I thought she was. Why are you asking about my job? I scroll to a photo from March 23rd. Her entry about meeting Tyler at his condo. Afterward, we lay in his bed and I told him about my day. He listened. Really listened. Not like Patrick, who zones out when I talk about work. Tyler asked questions about the applications, about how the medical documentation process works. He was fascinated. March 23rd, I say. You told him about the medical documentation process. He asked questions. Emily's face goes white. You're taking that out of context. April 2nd. You wrote that he wanted to help with your work, that he could provide medical assessments for your clients. I look up from the phone. That's what you called them. Clients. Patrick, I help disabled people. Show me your laptop. What? Your work laptop. Show me. She doesn't move. That's answer enough. I walk past her, up the stairs to her home office. The door is usually closed, her private space. I respected that. I open it now. Her desk is neat, organized, 3 filing cabinets against the wall. Her laptop sits closed on the desk, next to a framed photo of the 3 of us at the beach last summer. Maddie's building a sand castle. Emily's laughing. I'm looking at Emily like she's the only thing in the world that matters. I was such a fool. The laptop isn't password protected. We've always trusted each other with that stuff. The screen lights up. Her email is already open. The first message is from someone named David Kruger, sent this morning at 9:47 a.m. Subject line: Documentation received. Deposit confirmed. Emily. Got the medical records from Dr. Bennett. Everything looks good. SSA shouldn't have any questions with documentation this detailed. Deposited $3,000 to the usual account. We'll send another $2,000 when approval comes through. Thanks for the help. My brother-in-law says his back pain started in 2019 like we discussed. DK. I click on her sent folder. There are hundreds of emails, thousands maybe. I scroll through subject lines. Medical documentation attached. Application assistance, $2,500. Dr. Bennett's assessment ready for review. Coaching session scheduled. I open one at random. February 14th, Valentine's Day. The same day she wrote about having dinner with me at the steakhouse while thinking about Tyler. Mr. Patterson. As discussed, the key to a successful application is consistency in your reported symptoms. I've attached a detailed symptom diary template. Fill this out for the past 6 months, making sure the pain levels and limitations align with what Dr. Bennett documented. Remember, you can't lift more than 10 pounds. You need to lie down for 2 to 3 hours during the day, and the pain is constant, 7-8 out of 10. Practice describing these limitations before your SSA interview. My fee is $4,000, half now, half when you're approved. Emily. My hands are shaking. I open another, January 15th. Rebecca. Dr. Bennett will see you next Tuesday at 2 p.m. His office is aware you're a private patient paying cash. When he asks about your symptoms, remember what we discussed. The anxiety started after your car accident in 2018. You have panic attacks 3 to 4 times per week. You can't work around people or in stressful environments. He'll document everything needed for your mental disability claim. His fee is $1,500 for the evaluation and records. Mine is $3,500. Emily. I can't breathe. Emily appears in the doorway. She's crying. Patrick, please. How long? My voice doesn't sound like mine. It's not what you think. How long have you been doing this? She doesn't answer. I click on her archived emails, sort by oldest first. November 2021, 2.5 years ago. The first one is from Tyler Bennett. Emily. It was great meeting you at the fundraiser. I meant what I said about wanting to help with your advocacy work. I see cases every day where legitimate injuries get denied while the system is overwhelmed with questionable claims. If I could provide thorough documentation for people who really need it, maybe we could make a difference. Let me know if you'd like to discuss over coffee. Tyler. Her response, sent the next day. Tyler. I'd love to discuss this further. The people I work with desperately need doctors who understand the system and will document their conditions properly. Coffee sounds perfect. Emily. I scroll forward. Their emails start professional. Clinical discussions about medical documentation requirements, SSA evaluation criteria, how to present symptoms for maximum impact. Then, December 2021. Tyler's tone shifts. Emily, I can't stop thinking about our meeting yesterday. Not just about the work, about you. I know this is complicated, but I had to tell you. Tatur. Her response came 3 hours later. I think about you too. E. The affair started before the fraud. Or maybe they started together. I can't tell anymore where one ends and the other begins. I keep scrolling. By March 2022, they have developed a system. Tyler provides detailed medical evaluations for Emily's clients, people who pay her thousands of dollars to help them fake disabilities. He documents conditions that don't exist. She coaches them on symptoms, helps them fill out applications, tells them exactly what to say in interviews. They split the fees. There's a spreadsheet in her documents folder. Client revenue 2022-2024. I open it. 237 names. Amounts ranging from $2,000 to $8,000 per person. Total revenue $1,247,500, over $1 million. Where's the money? I ask. Emily's still in the doorway. She's stopped crying. Her face is blank now, like she's shut down completely. Where is it, Emily? Offshore account, she whispers. Cayman Islands. Jesus Christ. We were going to use it to start over, Tyler and me. She stops. Once you left me. She nods. I close the laptop. My brain can't process this. The affair was devastating enough. But this? This is systematic fraud. Federal crimes. People collecting disability payments they don't deserve, while actually disabled people get denied because the system's overwhelmed. Does Tyler's wife know? I ask. About the fraud or the affair? Either, both. No. I pull out my phone. I still have those photos of the journal, but now I need more. I open Emily's laptop again and start photographing the screen, the emails, the spreadsheet, everything. What are you doing? Emily's voice is panicked now. Documenting. Patrick, please. If this gets out, you'll go to prison. Yeah, I know. Maddie needs a mother who isn't a criminal. I photograph the last email, then close the laptop. Emily's crying again, but I can't look at her. If I look at her, I might break down completely. My phone buzzes. Text from my sister Julie. Picking up Maddie from dance. She wants to stop for ice cream. Home by 5:45? 5:45. 1 hour from now. I text back. Perfect, thanks. You need to leave, I tell Emily, before Maddie gets home. I need to explain to her, no, not yet, not like this. I stand up. Pack a bag, go to a hotel. I'll figure out what to tell her tonight. Something simple, temporary. We'll deal with the rest later. Patrick, move. Now. She goes to our bedroom. I hear drawers opening, closing. The sound of the zipper on her suitcase. I sit in her office chair and stare at the laptop. Over $1 million. 237 people committing fraud. Tyler providing false medical records. Emily coaching them, taking their money, helping them steal from a system meant to help people who actually need it. The flash drive feels like it weighs 10 pounds in my pocket. I'm sitting in my truck outside the Social Security Administration building on Maple Street, engine off, hands on the steering wheel. It's 8:47 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. The building opens at 9. I've been here since 8:30. I didn't sleep last night. Couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that spreadsheet. 237 names. 237 people collecting checks they didn't deserve, while the system, already overwhelmed, already underfunded, buckled under the weight of it. My phone buzzes. Text from my mom. Madison had a great time at the sleepover. We're making pancakes. Want me to drop her at school or keep her for the day? I text back, keep her, thank you. I told her Emily and I needed a day to work some things out. Not a lie exactly, just not the whole truth. Mom's good at reading between lines, though. She didn't ask questions, just said she'd take Maddie for as long as we needed. The passenger seat holds a cardboard box. Inside, printed copies of the spreadsheet, the Cayman Islands account statements, screenshots of text messages between Emily and Tyler coordinating client consultations, and a USB drive containing the coaching materials. Step-by-step instructions on how to fake chronic pain, how to fail grip strength tests, which symptoms to emphasize for fibromyalgia, for PTSD, for traumatic brain injury. There's a separate folder of real cases Emily mentioned in her notes. People who actually needed help. People who got denied. Client URU89. Genuine spinal injury from car accident. Application denied. Tyler says too risky to approve, already flagged for review. Told her to reapply in 6 months. Client 143, veteran with documented TBI and PTSD, denied. Can't use Tyler's eval. Conflict of interest if he sees too many approvals. Referred to clinic in Riverside instead. The real disabled people got shuffled aside to make room for the fakes. The system has quotas, approval rates, fraud detection algorithms. Every fake approval made it harder for legitimate cases to get through. I found something else last night, buried in Emily's email drafts. A message she never sent to Tyler, dated 3 weeks ago. Sometimes I wonder if we've gone too far. Mrs. Patterson came by yesterday. You remember her? The woman with MS we turned away last year? She's in a wheelchair now, lost her house. I wanted to tell her I'm sorry, that I could help, but how do I explain that I help other people who aren't really sick? How do I look at her and justify what we've done? But then I think about us, about the life we're building, the condo in Grand Cayman, waking up next to you every morning. And I know I can't stop. Not now. We're so close. She knew. She knew exactly what they were doing and kept going anyway. The building doors unlock. A security guard props one open with a doorstop. People start filing in, some walking, some using canes, one woman in a motorized wheelchair. Real people with real problems, trying to navigate a system that Emily and Tyler poisoned. I grab the box and get out of the truck. The lobby smells like floor wax and recycled air. There's a reception desk with bulletproof glass and a tired-looking woman in her 50s behind it. Her nameplate says, Brenda. Help you? She asks without looking up from her computer. I need to report disability fraud, I say. That gets her attention. She looks at me over her reading glasses, taking in the box under my arm, the flash drive in my hand. You'll want to speak with our fraud investigation unit. She picks up a phone, presses a button. Let me see if Agent Reeves is available. Agent. Not clerk, not administrator. Agent. This is real. Once I hand over this evidence, there's no taking it back. Brenda murmurs into the phone, then hangs up. 4th floor, room 412. Elevators are to your left. Agent Reeves is younger than I expected. Maybe 35, with short blonde hair and sharp eyes that miss nothing. Her office is small, windowless, with filing cabinets lining 2 walls and a desk covered in folders. Mr. Hayes, she says, shaking my hand. Brenda said you have information about disability fraud? I set the box on her desk. My wife runs a nonprofit that helps people apply for disability benefits. Except she's not helping people who need it. She's coaching healthy people to fake disabilities. Her partner is a doctor who provides false medical documentation. They've been doing it for 2.5 years. Reeves sits down slowly. That's a serious allegation. I have proof. I hand her the flash drive. Bank records, client lists, coaching materials, text messages, everything. She plugs the drive into her computer. I watch her face as she opens the files. Her expression doesn't change, but her jaw tightens. How many clients? She asks. 237 that I found. There might be more. She scrolls through the spreadsheet. Stops. Scrolls back up. These approval dates span over 2 years. And you said there's a doctor involved? Tyler Bennett, orthopedic surgeon at Children's Hospital. He does the medical evaluations, provides the documentation. My wife coaches the clients on what to say, how to act. And how did you obtain this information? The question I knew was coming. My wife left her work laptop at home. I found the files on it. Does she know you have this? No. Reeves leans back in her chair. Mr. Hayes, I need to be clear about what happens next. If this evidence is legitimate, and it will take time to verify, we're talking about federal charges. Mail fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud the government. Your wife and Dr. Bennett could face significant prison time. I know. And you're prepared for that? I think about Maddie, about explaining to her why Mommy isn't coming home, about custody arrangements and prison visits and growing up with a mother behind bars. I think about Mrs. Patterson in her wheelchair, losing her house. I think about the 237 people collecting checks while the truly disabled get denied. Yes, I say. I'm prepared. Reeves nods. I'll need you to make a formal statement. This could take several hours, and you'll likely be called to testify if this goes to trial. Whatever you need. She opens a drawer, pulls out a legal pad and a digital recorder. Let's start from the beginning. When did you first become aware of your wife's activities? It takes 4 hours. I walk her through everything. Finding the journal, the affair, discovering the laptop, the spreadsheet, the bank accounts, the coaching materials. I give her names, dates, specific details about how the scheme worked. She records it all, takes notes, asks clarifying questions. Did your wife ever mention concerns about getting caught? She asks. She was careful. They used encrypted messaging apps for most communication. The money went to an offshore account. They only met clients through the nonprofit. Everything looked legitimate on the surface. And Dr. Bennett's medical evaluations? He'd see the clients at his practice, run minimal tests, then write reports documenting disabilities that didn't exist. Chronic pain is hard to disprove. Fibromyalgia, migraines, psychological conditions, all subjective. He knew exactly what conditions would be hardest to verify. Reeves makes a note. We'll need to interview Dr. Bennett's other patients. Cross-reference his evaluations with actual medical histories. There's something else, I say. They turned away people with real disabilities, made room for the fraudulent cases. I found emails where my wife expressed concern about approval rates being too high. They deliberately denied legitimate claims to avoid suspicion. Her pen stops moving. Do you have documentation of that? It's in the files, email drafts, notes about specific cases they rejected. She's quiet for a moment. When she speaks again, her voice is harder. That's going to matter in sentencing. Defrauding the government is one thing. Actively preventing disabled individuals from receiving benefits they're entitled to That shows a level of callousness that prosecutors will emphasize. I should feel something. Guilt, maybe, or regret. But all I feel is tired. When will you arrest them? I ask. We need to verify the evidence first. Interview some of the clients on this list. Examine Dr. Bennett's medical records. Trace the financial transactions. But if everything checks out, she closes her legal pad. Within the week, the SSA building's fluorescent lights make everything look jaundiced and sick. I've been sitting in this conference room for hours, watching Agent Reeves type notes with 2 fingers while I talk. My throat's dry. My voice sounds like someone else's. We'll need to verify the offshore account, Reeves says, not looking up from his laptop. Treasury will get involved. FBI too, probably. Wire fraud across state lines, conspiracy, identity theft. This is federal on multiple counts. I nod. I've been nodding for 4 hours. Go home, Mr. Hayes. We'll be in touch tomorrow. Don't contact your wife. Don't warn anyone involved. Let us handle it from here. The parking lot outside is nearly empty. It's past 8. Madison's at my sister Jenna's house. I called her from the hotel parking lot, said Emily and I were having problems, asked if she could pick up Madison from dance and keep her overnight. Jenna didn't ask questions. She heard something in my voice. I sit in my truck for 20 minutes before I can make myself turn the key. The house is dark when I pull into the driveway. Emily's Lexus is gone. I left her 4 hours to pack and get out, more than enough time. Still, my hands shake when I unlock the front door. The living room looks normal. Kitchen, too. Upstairs, our bedroom door stands open. Her closet is half empty. The drawers on her side of the dresser gape open, clothes pulled out hastily. The burgundy journal is gone from where I left it on the bed. Her laptop, too. Smart. She knows what I found. Madison's room is untouched. Emily didn't take anything of our daughters. Didn't leave a note on her pillow. Didn't pack her favorite stuffed horse. She just left. I find the note in the kitchen, propped against the coffee maker. Emily's looping cursive on cream stationery. Patrick, I know you won't believe me, but I never meant to hurt you. I never meant for any of this to happen. I'm staying with my mother. Please don't call. I need to think. Tell Madison I love her. Tell her I'll see her soon. E. I crumple it and throw it in the trash. Then I fish it back out, smooth it flat, take a picture with my phone. Evidence. Everything's evidence now. My phone buzzes. Jenna. Maddie's asleep. She asked why Mommy didn't pick her up. I said you both had work stuff. She's fine. Call me when you can. I can't. Not yet. If I hear my sister's voice, if she asks me what happened, I'll have to say it out loud. Make it real. Instead, I open my laptop at the kitchen table and start searching. Disability fraud penalties. Federal wire fraud sentencing. Conspiracy charges maximum sentence. The numbers are staggering. 20 years for wire fraud, up to 30 for conspiracy, fines in the millions. Asset forfeiture. They'll take everything, the house, the cars, the offshore accounts. Emily's mother's house too, if they can prove she knew. I'm still reading at midnight when my phone rings. Unknown number. Mr. Hayes? This is Detective Lauren Briggs, Metro Police Department. Agent Reeves from SSA asked me to give you a call. We've executed a search warrant at Dr. Tyler Bennett's residence and medical office. We've also taken him into custody for questioning. My heart pounds. Already? The evidence you provided was substantial. We moved fast to prevent destruction of records. Dr. Bennett's wife was present during the search. She's cooperating. I picture Tyler's wife. Emily mentioned her once, dismissively. She doesn't understand him. Now she understands plenty. What about Emily? We haven't located her yet. The address you provided, her mother's house, she's not there. Her mother says she hasn't heard from her. The coffee maker. Emily's note leaned against suddenly looked sinister. She knew. She knew I'd found the fraud, knew I'd turn her in. The note was a delay tactic, buying time to run. Her phone? Turned off. We're working on it. Mr. Hayes, do you know if your wife has access to the offshore account? Can she move those funds? The spreadsheet flashes in my memory. Joint account. Emily Hayes and Tyler Bennett, both signatories. Yes, I say. She can access it. Detective Briggs swears softly. We've contacted the Cayman Bank, but it's after hours there. We won't be able to freeze the account until morning their time. That's 8 hours from now. 8 hours. Enough time to drain $1.2 million and disappear. We've issued a bolo. Be on the lookout for her vehicle. If she tries to cross state lines, we'll know. TSA's been notified. She won't get on a plane. After we hang up, I sit in the dark kitchen and try to think like Emily. Where would she go? Not her mother's, too obvious. Not friends. They're all couple friends, our friends, and she knows they'd call me. Tyler's in custody. She's alone. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from a number I don't recognize. I'm sorry. I never wanted you to find out this way. I know you hate me. I know Madison will hate me. But the people we helped, they needed that money. The system failed them. We just found a way to make it work. I stare at the message. She's justifying it. Actually justifying stealing from the government, from taxpayers, from people who really need help. I type back, you helped 237 healthy people steal benefits while denying them to people who actually needed them. Agent Reeves showed me the denial files. Real people. Really disabled. Rejected so your fraud wouldn't show a pattern. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. You don't understand the whole picture. Tyler and I were going to fix that. We were building something bigger. A real advocacy program. We just needed seed money. My hands are shaking so hard I can barely type. You stole from disabled people. You coached healthy people to fake seizures and back injuries and PTSD. You got rich off it. Don't you dare call it advocacy. We weren't getting rich. Most of that money was going to operational costs. We were going to launch a legitimate nonprofit next year. I want to throw the phone across the room. Instead, I screenshot the conversation and email it to Detective Briggs. The response comes 30 seconds later. Keep her talking. We're tracing the number. So I do. I ask her where she is. She doesn't answer. I ask if she's thought about Madison, about what this will do to our daughter when her mother goes to prison. She says she's thought of nothing else. I ask how she could do this, how she could betray everything we built. You were never home, she writes. You were always at job sites, always with clients. Tyler saw me. He listened. And yes, we made mistakes with the program, but our intentions were good. Your intentions don't matter. The law doesn't care about your intentions. The law is broken. The disability system is broken. We were trying to fix it. By breaking it more? The dots appear and disappear for a full minute. Then, tell Madison I love her. Tell her I'll make this right. The message doesn't deliver. I try again. Message failed to send. She's turned off the phone. I forward everything to Detective Briggs. She calls 2 minutes later. We got a location. Cell tower ping before she powered down. She's in Oakmont, about 40 miles north. We're sending units now. Oakmont. Emily's college roommate lives there. Vanessa something. They haven't talked in years, but Emily kept her Christmas cards. There's something else, Briggs says. We've been going through Dr. Bennett's office records. The scope of this is bigger than we thought. The 237 clients on your wife's spreadsheet, that's just the active cases. We're finding evidence of at least 400 more over the past 2.5 years. Some aged out of the system, some died, some moved away. But the fraud? Mr. Hayes, we're looking at potential losses in excess of $3 million. $3 million. The number doesn't even sound real. And the people who were denied? The real claims? Silence. Then, we're still counting. But it's over 1,000. Legitimate disability claims flagged and rejected to maintain the approval ratio. Some of them appealed and eventually got benefits. Some gave up. Some, she trails off. Some what? Some died waiting. We've found 3 so far. Terminal illness cases that needed benefits immediately. They were rejected, told to reapply with additional documentation. They died before their appeals were processed. I'm gonna be sick. I make it to the sink before I throw up, heaving until there's nothing left. 3 people. Dead. Because Emily and Tyler wanted to keep their fraud from being detected. The SSA investigator's name is Robert Keene, and he calls me at 7:43 a.m. on a Tuesday, 3 days after Emily disappeared. Mr. Hayes, we've located your wife. I'm standing in the kitchen, Madison's lunch half-made on the counter. Turkey sandwich, apple slices, the granola bars she likes. My hand freezes on the butter knife. Where? She was detained at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport at 11:20 p.m. last night, attempting to board a flight to Grand Cayman under a false passport. TSA flagged the document. I sit down hard on one of the kitchen chairs. Through the window, I can see our neighbor Mrs. Palmer walking her golden retriever. The same walk, the same time, like every morning. Like the world hasn't just split open. Is she? She's in federal custody. FBI has her at their Dallas field office. She'll be transported back here within 48 hours for arraignment. Keene pauses. Mr. Hayes, there's something else you should know. When they searched her, she had $47,000 in cash in her luggage. And we've confirmed she successfully transferred $890,000 from the Cayman account to a secondary offshore account in Belize 2 days before you reported the fraud. My stomach drops. Can you recover it? We're working with international authorities. It's complicated. These jurisdictions don't always cooperate quickly. His voice softens slightly. I'm sorry. She was clearly planning this for some time. After I hang up, I finish making Madison's lunch on autopilot. The bread, the turkey, the cheese she likes cut into triangles. I've been telling her that Mommy is away helping sick people, which isn't entirely a lie. Just not the kind of help Madison imagines. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. They told you, I'm sure. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just needed time to think, to figure things out. Tell Maddie I love her. I stare at the message for a long time. Then I delete it without responding. The SSA office downtown looks exactly like every government building I've ever seen. Fluorescent lights, gray carpet, motivational posters about integrity that feel obscene given why I'm here. Keene meets me in the lobby, a slim man in his 50s with wire-rimmed glasses and the patient, methodical demeanor of someone who's spent decades untangling financial crimes. We've been going through the files you provided, he says, leading me to a conference room. as well as the materials we seized from Dr. Bennett's office and Ms. Hayes's home office. The conference table is covered in file folders, each one color-coded. Red, blue, green, yellow. Keene sees me looking. Red folders are confirmed fraudulent claims that received benefits. Blue are legitimate claims that were denied. Green are pending cases we're reviewing. Yellow are complicated. How many? Red? 412 confirmed so far. We're still processing. He opens one of the blue folders. This is Margaret Lawson, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Applied for disability in February. Your wife personally handled her case and denied it based on insufficient medical documentation. Mrs. Lawson died on March 28th, 3 weeks after the denial. Never received a penny. He opens another. David Wilson. He catches himself. David Park. Paralyzed from the waist down in a car accident. Applied in January. Denied. He lost his apartment in April because he couldn't work and had no income. He's currently living in his sister's garage. Keene keeps going. Each blue folder is a person whose life Emily destroyed. Not through the fraud itself, but through the deliberate denial of legitimate help. A woman with early-onset Alzheimer's. A veteran with severe PTSD and a traumatic brain injury. A man with advanced MS who can barely hold a fork. We estimate she and Dr. Bennett denied over 1,200 legitimate claims over the past 18 months, Keene says quietly. All to maintain the appearance of a rigorous approval process, to avoid triggering audits. Jesus Christ. The approval rate for her program was 19.3%. The national average is 33%. She was actually praised by her supervisors for being thorough and fiscally responsible. Keene's jaw tightens. She was getting awards while people died waiting. He pulls out a thick binder. This is what we've compiled on the fraud itself. The coaching materials you found were just the beginning. She had an entire system. Scripted answers for the disability interviews. Specific symptoms to claim for different conditions. She even had a tiered pricing structure, $2,000 for straightforward cases, up to $8,000 for complex ones requiring multiple fake diagnoses. I flip through the binder. There are printed emails, text messages between Emily and Tyler, financial records showing payments from clients, to a shell company called Advocacy Solutions LLC. The company was registered in Delaware, with Emily listed as the sole owner under her maiden name. Dr. Bennett provided the medical documentation, Keene continues, MRI reports, X-rays, physician statements, all completely fabricated. We've contacted every single person who received benefits based on his documentation. The interview started yesterday. What happens to them? The people who faked it? That depends. If they knew it was fraud, and most of them did, based on the coaching materials, they'll be required to repay every penny they received, with penalties and interest. Many will face criminal charges. We're prioritizing the cases with the highest dollar amounts. He pauses. But here's the problem, Mr. Hayes. The legitimate claimants, the ones your wife denied, they're going to have to reapply. Go through the entire process again. And now, because of this scandal, every single disability claim is going to face enhanced scrutiny. The fraud has contaminated the entire system. You mean actually disabled people are going to have an even harder time getting help? Yes. Keene removes his glasses, pinches the bridge of his nose. I've worked disability fraud for 23 years. I've seen people fake back injuries, exaggerate mental illness, claim conditions they don't have. But I've never seen anything like this. The scale, the organization, the deliberate targeting of the system's vulnerabilities. He looks at me directly. Your wife is brilliant, Mr. Hayes, and she used that brilliance to create something genuinely evil. I meet with my attorney, James Pritchard, that afternoon. He's a criminal defense lawyer I found through a referral, though I'm not the one being charged with anything. Still, I need protection. Advice. Someone who understands what's coming. The federal prosecutor is going to want you to testify, Pritchard says. We're in his office, which smells like leather and old books. Against both your wife and Dr. Bennett. You're the one who discovered the fraud, you have first-hand knowledge of the materials, and you can speak to her deception. I'll do it. It won't be easy. Defense attorneys will try to paint you as a scorned husband seeking revenge. They'll dig into your marriage, your finances, anything that might suggest ulterior motives. I don't care. Pritchard studies me for a moment. The prosecutor also mentioned something else. There's a possibility that some of the people your wife denied, the legitimate claimants, might file civil suits. Against her, against the nonprofit, potentially against Dr. Bennett. Wrongful death, negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress. The legal theories vary, but the damages could be substantial. She doesn't have anything left. She moved almost $1 million offshore. True, but there's insurance. The nonprofit carried a liability policy, and Dr. Bennett has significant assets, his medical practice, real estate, retirement accounts. The plaintiff's attorneys will go after everything they can reach. I think about Margaret Lawson, dead at 53. David Park, paralyzed and homeless. All those blue folders. Good, I say. That evening, I'm helping Madison with her homework when my phone rings. Unknown number again, but this time it's a landline area code. Dallas. I step into the hallway before answering. Patrick. Emily's voice is small, distant. They're letting me make calls. I have a lawyer now. He says I'm looking at 20 years, maybe more. I don't say anything. I need you to understand, she continues, and I can hear her crying now. It started so small, just helping a few people who fell through the cracks. People who really needed help but didn't qualify under the strict guidelines. Tyler and we thought we were fixing a broken system. By denying benefits to people with cancer, to paralyzed veterans. That wasn't supposed to happen. It got out of control. We had to maintain the statistics, and then there were so many applicants, and I couldn't. She breaks off. I know how it sounds. I know what I did. But I never meant for anyone to die, Patrick. You have to believe that. What I believe, I say quietly, is that you made choices. Every single day for 18 months, you made choices. You chose money. You chose Tyler. You chose to let sick people suffer so you could protect your fraud. I chose wrong. Her voice cracks. I know that now. But Maddie, Patrick, please, you can't let her think her mother is a monster. She's 7 years old. What she needs is the truth. Age-appropriate, but the truth. That her mother broke the law and hurt people and has to face consequences. I'm gripping the phone so hard my knuckles are white. I'll make sure she knows you love her, but I won't lie to her about who you are. Silence on the line. Then, barely a whisper. I'm sorry. So am I. I hang up before she can say anything else. The courtroom smells like furniture polish and fear. I'm sitting 3 rows back, watching Emily stand before the judge in an orange jumpsuit that makes her look smaller than I remember. Her beautiful handwriting won't matter here. Only the numbers matter now. 412 fraudulent claims. $3 million in stolen benefits. 14 confirmed deaths among the people she denied. Not 3, like they first thought. 14 human beings who died waiting for help that never came because Emily needed to keep her statistics clean. The judge is a woman in her 60s with steel gray hair and reading glasses that catch the fluorescent light. She's been reading from a document for 10 minutes, her voice flat and precise. Emily's attorney, expensive, brought in by her mother who mortgaged her house, sits beside her with the defeated posture of someone who knows the outcome. Tyler Bennett was sentenced 3 weeks ago. 18 years, federal prison. His medical license revoked permanently. His wife divorced him before the trial ended and wrote a victim impact statement that made the prosecutor cry. She'd had no idea. 20 years of marriage to a man she never really knew. I understand the feeling. Ms. Hayes, the judge says now, and Emily straightened slightly. I've presided over fraud cases for 32 years. I've seen greed, desperation, stupidity. But what you did requires a special kind of callousness. You didn't just steal from the government. You weaponized a system designed to help the most vulnerable members of our society. Emily's shoulders shake. She's crying, but the judge doesn't pause. Margaret Lawson died believing she wasn't sick enough to deserve help. David Park lost everything because you decided his paralysis wasn't worth your time. 14 people died. Hundreds more suffered. And you did this while accepting awards for your advocacy work. The judge removes her glasses. The prosecution recommended 25 years. I'm inclined to exceed that recommendation. The words hang in the air. Emily's attorney half rises, then sits back down. There's nothing to say. However, the judge continues, I've also read the letters submitted on your behalf. Your daughter's teacher, your former college roommate, your mother. They describe a woman who volunteered at homeless shelters, who donated to charity, who seemed genuinely committed to helping others. I've tried to reconcile that woman with the one who coached healthy people to fake seizures while cancer patients died waiting. She puts her glasses back on. I can't reconcile it. Perhaps you can't either. But the law doesn't require me to understand you, Ms. Hayes. It requires me to sentence you. She looks down at her papers. On the count of wire fraud, 20 years. On conspiracy to defraud the United States, 15 years, to run consecutively. On the count of identity theft, 5 years, concurrent. Total sentence, 35 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years supervised release. You'll be eligible for parole after serving 85% of your sentence. The math is simple. Emily is 39 years old. She'll be 70 before she's free. Madison, sitting beside me with my sister Jenna's arm around her, doesn't make a sound. We explained what prison means. We explained that Mommy did something very wrong and has to be punished for a very long time. She cried for 3 days, then got quiet in a way that scares me more than the tears did. Mommy looks sad, she whispers now. She is sad, sweetheart. Can we visit her? I think about the visiting rooms I've seen in movies. Plexiglass barriers and phone receivers and the slow death of hope. Yes, when you're ready. The judge is still talking, explaining restitution. Emily has to repay the full $3 million, though everyone knows she'll never earn enough in prison to make a dent. The offshore money in Belize is frozen but might never be recovered. The government will seize everything else, the nonprofit's assets, Emily's car, her retirement accounts. Our house is safe only because it's solely in my name, purchased before we married. Small mercies. The marshals lead Emily away. She looks back once, finds Madison in the crowd, mouths, I love you. Madison waves, a tiny gesture that breaks something in my chest. Then Emily's gone, swallowed by a door that locks behind her with a sound like finality. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my truck outside Madison's school, waiting for dismissal. The radio plays something forgettable. My phone buzzes. A text from Agent Keene. Thought you'd want to know. David Park received his disability approval yesterday. Retroactive benefits too. He's getting an apartment next month. I text back, "That's good news. Thank you for telling me." There have been other messages like this over the past months. Margaret Lawson's family received a settlement from the nonprofit's insurance company. The veteran with PTSD got approved and is in treatment now. Not all the stories have happy endings. You can't undo death. Can't give back the years people spent suffering. But some things are being fixed. Slowly. The school doors open. Children pour out like a flood, backpacks bouncing, voices high and chaotic. Madison emerges with her friend Sophia, both of them laughing about something. She sees my truck and waves, says goodbye to her friend, runs over. "Hey, Dad, can Sophia come over this weekend? Her mom said it's okay if you say yes." "Sure thing." She climbs in, buckles her seatbelt, starts telling me about her day. A story about recess, something funny her teacher said, a spelling test she thinks she did well on. Normal things, kid things. She's learning to be okay again, though her therapist says it'll take time. Maybe years. We all have our sentences to serve. "Dad?" Madison asks as I pull out of the parking lot. "Do you think Mommy thinks about me?" "Every day, sweetheart. I know she does." I wrote her a letter. Miss Karen helped me. Miss Karen is the therapist. I told her about my spelling test and about Sophia and about the new horse book I'm reading. "That's nice. I'm sure she'll love getting it." "Do you think—" She trails off, picking at her backpack strap. "Do you think she'll always be in prison? Like, forever?" I could lie, could soften it. But I promised myself I'd give her truth. For a very long time, yes. You'll be grown up before she gets out. Madison processes this quietly. Then, Miss Karen says people can still love each other even when they're far apart. And even when someone does something really bad, they're still a person. Miss Karen's right. So I can still love Mommy, even though she did bad things? I reach over and squeeze her hand. Yes, baby. You can still love her. That's always okay. That night, after Madison's asleep, I sit at the kitchen table with a beer I won't finish and think about the past year. About finding that burgundy journal, about the hotel room confrontation, about watching Emily led away in handcuffs, about the blue folders full of people she destroyed, about the choice I made to turn her in. Some people think I should have handled it differently. Emily's mother hasn't spoken to me since the sentencing. A few of our old friends have distanced themselves, uncomfortable with the messiness of it all. There's a certain kind of person who believes family loyalty should trump everything, even justice. But I think about Margaret Lawson dying at 53, believing she wasn't sick enough to deserve help. I think about David Park in his sister's garage, paralyzed and abandoned. I think about the 14 people who died and the hundreds who suffered because Emily wanted to protect her fraud. I made the right choice. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel triumphant or righteous. It just feels necessary, like setting a broken bone. Painful, but required for healing. My phone buzzes. Another unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. "Mr. Hayes, this is Linda Park, David's sister." It takes me a moment to place the name. David Park, paralyzed, denied benefits, living in a garage. I hope you don't mind me calling, she continues. Agent Keene gave me your number. I wanted to thank you. David got his approval and he's moving into his own place next week. He has a wheelchair-accessible apartment and benefits, and he has hope again. Because of you. My throat tightens. I didn't do anything. I just reported what I found. You did everything, she says quietly. You could have looked the other way, protected your family, your daughter. Instead, you chose what was right. That takes courage most people don't have. After we hang up, I sit in the dark kitchen for a long time. Madison will grow up with a mother in prison. That's a wound that won't fully heal. But she'll also grow up knowing that her father chose truth over comfort, justice over convenience. That when faced with an impossible choice, he did the hard thing instead of the easy thing. Maybe that's the only lesson worth teaching, that we're defined not by the betrayals we suffer, but by how we respond to them. That integrity isn't about perfection. It's about what you do when everything falls apart. Emily made her choices. I made mine. And somewhere out there, David Park is packing boxes for his new apartment, and Margaret Lawson's family has some measure of closure, and a broken system is being slowly repaired. It's not redemption. It's not closure. It's just the quiet, unglamorous work of trying to make things right. I finish my beer, rinse the bottle, and turn off the kitchen light. Tomorrow, Madison has a dance recital. She got the solo, the one she was so excited about back when life was normal. Emily won't be there to see it, but I will. And afterward, we'll get ice cream and talk about her performance, and we'll keep building a life from the wreckage of the old one. One day at a time. One choice at a time. That's all any of us can do.